2 Minute Drill Podcast. I'm Jim Monahan, and that guy is Chris Swendeman. And Swendeman, we're talking NBA Finals with your New York Knicks and the San Antonio Spurs. What a series. We've talked about the Knicks last week and what they did to get to where they are. And then, of course, San Antonio and OKC wrapping up a 7-game series on Saturday night to set up this week's finals. A lot of the criticism that I was seeing from people on our video that we posted last week, they were saying, well, the Knicks didn't play anybody to get to this point.
Yeah, I didn't get that. For me, you play who you play. It's the playoffs. You start out with the team that you're seated up against, and then you go from there. The Knicks couldn't help or do anything about who they faced, whether it be Philly, Atlanta, or Cleveland. And Cleveland, last time I checked, beat the number 1 seed in Detroit. And Philly beat the number 2 seed in Boston. So anything can happen in the playoffs, and it usually does, but you play who you are scheduled to play. The Knicks can't do anything about that. And you know what? If the Knicks, other than Atlanta, if the Knicks went 6 games, 7-game series, they blew people out. I mean, convincing isn't even the right word to describe this team and destroying the teams that they've played through the playoffs. There is no question that they were the better team in every single one of these series. And they didn't leave a doubt like, oh, they just got by Cleveland, or, Joe Embiid gave them fits for Philly. They destroyed these teams. So I don't want to hear people saying, oh, the Knicks. And I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm defending the Knicks because they are a really good team. It's not because I'm a fan of the team. I'm as, anti-Knick as you could probably get. You are too, being Celtics fans. So, you could say what you want, but the Knicks could only play who the schedule and the playoff brackets gave them. Now you're playing the best from the West. The champions got knocked off in the 7th game in OKC. Here comes San Antonio. They play who they play. And you know what? They're going to show whether, the whole route through the East, what they're really made of, because now it's for all the marbles.
And the Knicks, as we have pointed out in the past, on an 11-0 run, and all 3 series that they won to get to the finals were dominant wins, and they were on the road when they clinched each respective series. So I agree with you. I don't buy this. Well, they didn't play anybody. Oh, they did, and they dominated. Right. Like you said, they didn't just squeak by these teams. No. So if they were weak teams, well, then the Knicks did what good teams are supposed to do against weak teams and blew their doors off.
Right. And, it's funny when you squeak by, people are like, oh, they should have stepped on their necks. They should have done that. They should have dominated. And then when you dominate, oh, they didn't play anybody good. You can't win. I feel like, the Knicks are only going to really cement how good this team is by winning. And I'm not betting against this team. I don't know if there are people out there other than San Antonio fans who are brave enough to bet against this Knicks team. But I'm telling you, this is one of the best Knicks teams for Knicks fans that they'll ever see. And they're watching it right in front of them.
For longtime fans, this is bringing back memories of the 2 championship teams going back to the 70s. The way they play team basketball and their defense, right. It really is something. And watching the way that the bench is being utilized and effectively utilized is really bringing back some strong memories of those teams.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They have some of the best. This is some of the best Knicks basketball I have ever lived through to see, to the point where even not as a fan, I want to watch every game because they're so exciting. And they are the definition of what I think a team should be. And they all help each other out. They all are, participate in offense and defense. And I'm telling you, this is a special, special team. And I hope Knicks fans are enjoying every minute of it.
Now, by the same token, I think the Spurs are a really special team as well. They're relatively deep, they're very young, and
Mhm.
Victor, and I'm going to butcher his last name, Victor, I apologize, Wembanyama. We'll just call him Wemby,
Wemby. There you go.
like everybody else's. He is
Exactly.
a special kind of player who can do a lot of things. He's not the first big man to be able to be multifaceted on the court, but he's doing some ridiculously special things.
For a guy his size, his agility is almost ridiculous. This guy is going to be the face of the NBA for years to come. Do I think it is this year? No. And I'm trying to curb my predictions because I don't want to jinx all my fellow Knicks fans because I know I'll be the one to get blamed if it goes south for them. But I just think as a team, the Knicks are stronger, better, and I think in Carl Anthony Towns and Josh Hart, I think those guys are going to cover Wemby to the best of their abilities. And I don't know if Wemby has faced somebody who could defend him like the Knicks can, and somebody like Carl Anthony Towns, who's very physical and is going to push him around. Carl Anthony Towns is much wider and a thicker guy. Wemby is very lanky, and I could see the Knicks muscling him up. And I don't know if the Knicks' style of play is exactly going to work for the Spurs. And in that they are, they can be rough when they need to be. And I didn't see that from the Spurs. The Spurs were able to pull it out against the champs. I mean, you got to tip your cap to them. But I just think the Knicks are a more complete team. And I think they're more, the grizzled, seasoned veterans than what you saw from the Spurs. When I watched the end of the game against Saturday night for the Spurs looked like they had just won a championship. Yeah, Wemby was crying, hugging teammates. They were all celebrating. When the Knicks beat Cleveland, they tapped each other on the butt. And actually, there's a clip, if you look for it. Carl Anthony Towns looks at, I believe, Josh Hart, or I don't remember who, but he basically said, you read his lips, on to the next. they this team knows what needs to be done, and it's not the Eastern Conference Final Championship. That they're not looking for that banner. They're looking for the championship one. And I think mentally they are as prepared as any team I've seen in a very long time. And I think they're going to carry that over to the championship round.
Game one, Wednesday night. I think they split the first two, and then we'll see what happens when they come back to Madison Square Garden.
That place is going to be off the hook. With all respect to San Antonio, they're a great basketball team. They have great fans. They have a great fan base, but there is nothing like MSG. And there is nothing like MSG when the Knicks are on fire. And this fan base is rabid right now for a championship. They feel it, they sense it, and they know the magic in this team. When they come back to the Garden, this is going to be insane.
I'm not sure how much to turn over to baseball. I'm not sure how much of the Mets Marlins series you watched over the weekend. The Mets sweeping Florida, the Marlins. I think it's a series too late to be honest with you, but it was nice to see them do that. They are still close enough to make you think,
Right.
they're not going to catch Atlanta, but
Right.
maybe they can get to a wild card position. Trade deadline for Major League Baseball is August 3rd. The Mets are going to have some questions between now and then, exactly what they can do. I was looking at their schedule. They've got 3 against Seattle, then they have San Diego, then they have the Cardinals, and then they have Atlanta. Between now and the trade deadline, the Mets play the Atlanta Braves, first place Atlanta Braves, I should point out, 10 times. And they play the Philadelphia Phillies 9 times. So 19 games against 2 teams, one that has dominated the National League East and the other that under Don Mattingly is playing really good baseball. So you think, okay, let's say the Mets are treading water, or
Right.
maybe they're playing a little bit over 500 over these next 5 weeks or so.
Right.
Who's evaluating the talent?
Well, David Stearns. And
Uh-huh.
and yeah,
So what does that tell you? they're in trouble.
Yes.
I don't trust him. I don't trust
No,
him. I don't trust
I don't
Craig
either.
Breslow in Boston
No.
to evaluate talent or put a roster together, and I don't trust David Stearns. He did a nice job in Milwaukee, and we were all looking forward to, oh, imagine what he could do if he had a big budget to work with. Well, we've seen
Right.
what he can do with a big budget to work with, and it's not working. So I'd be
No.
very, if I'm Steve Cohen, I'm very, very cautious about what I let David Stearns do as the deadline approaches.
I mean, you look at somebody, the only person I kind of liken David Stearns to somewhat, and I even use that loosely, is Billy Bean from Oakland. Billy was great at what he did for Oakland at the time. Now, Sacramento and soon to be Vegas. But I don't know if you gave him the Yankees payroll, if Billy would have been the same guy, if he would have been able to up his game to be a GM of a huge franchise like the Yankees with a huge payroll, or the Dodgers for that matter. Some guys just play that small ball better. And I think Stearns was that guy from Milwaukee. But now when he comes to the Mets, I don't think his talent evaluations are the same. And I think with the bigger payroll, I think it puts you on a different playing field. The pressures are different. The expectations are different. And that maybe makes you make some questionable decisions. And I think you're seeing that with Stearns. I don't know if New York is his market.
Well, I guess we're going to find out when you
It's
take a
true.
look at these 19 games between Atlanta and the Philadelphia Phillies. We got a lot of comments on our last video. We thank you
Mhm.
for that. You know what we say. If you like what we
Absolutely.
do, tell a friend. If you hate what we do, tell an enemy. Just tell somebody and subscribe, like, do all of that stuff. And we will talk to you next week.
You got it, Jim. Enjoy.